slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't.
Yeah, I know a lot of you out there are trying to break the sub 35 minute 10K barrier. And I do get a lot of questions on my live streams as well as under videos that from athletes that are maybe at like 45 minutes and they say, hey, do you think I can go from running 45 minutes to 35 minutes in a 6-month time period? And I do get a lot of those, and that's tough to answer because every athlete has a different background. Obviously, even if you're at 45 minutes, you're very fit. But to go from 45 minutes to 35 minutes in a matter of 6 months, I think is a little bit unrealistic. It's not impossible. There's athletes out there that do this. But I think that you do have to be very patient with yourself as you're training to run a time this fast. 34:59, that comes out to 5:38 per mile for 6.2 miles, or 3:30 per kilometer for 10 kilometers. So again, you have to work on your speed. You have to work on doing, in my opinion, doing between 1 to 2 VO2 max workouts per week. And again, that's as you get, especially if you're doing 2 VO2 max workouts, you have to be extremely fit to do that. Okay, that might be an example of doing like 10 100 meter hill repetitions, maybe on a Monday, and then maybe on a Thursday doing 5 to 6 1600 meter repetitions on the track at around 535 to 540 per rep. Again, you just have to, the proper amount of time I would recommend for an athlete trying to break the sub 35 minute 10 kilometer barrier is between 16 and 20 weeks. I think definitely between 12 and 16 weeks is optimal. You can push it out to 20 weeks, but you just have to be a little bit more patient with yourself if you're training for 5 months, because you don't want to get too anaerobically fit too early in your buildup. You want to make sure that you taper and you peak at the proper time. And so breaking sub 35 minutes for the 10K and getting that 5:38 mile pace to feel easier, you have to be training down around 5:05 to 5:10 mile pace, or around 3:05 to 3:10 kilometer pace. Okay, because again, you want to get that pace, that goal race pace, in this case 3:30K pace or 5:38 mile pace, to feel easier for you so that you can sustain your goal race pace and break this barrier. Of course, there are a lot of athletes that are trying to break 35 minutes, and some are very close. I know some of them that are on that have been on my streams as of late are trying to break the sub 35 minute 10K barrier. Again, the types of workouts that I was doing, I've run 31:09 for the 10K, so I do understand that it's not an easy process to get under 35 minutes because again, you're battling lactic acid, you're battling your body's ability to handle that and not slow down, and you're also battling tension in the body as you're running faster anaerobic efforts. And so I always tell athletes, if you're trying to run faster, regardless of what the distance or what type of time you're going for, always continue to practice staying as relaxed and as confident as you can in training. Okay, stress yourself in training. Don't wait until the morning of the race to think like, have I done enough mileage? Have I done the proper amount of speed workouts? Don't wait until that time to actually second guess yourself. Make sure that you're doing everything in training properly. Your long runs for an athlete that's training for a sub 35 minute 10K. I think doubling the distance, if you can get your long run out to around 12 miles, that will really help you psychologically, because you're doubling the distance of your goal race here. Obviously, you're going to build an enormous amount of endurance going out 12 miles in length. And also, if you're running some of those long runs, if it's every other week or maybe once or twice per month, running at a faster pace, running some of those miles or kilometers in your long run at anaerobic threshold, maybe a mile or two at VO2 max effort, and then running at jogging relaxed pace during those long runs, those faster long runs, that's really going to help you handle a higher amount of lactic acid, and you're going to be able to resist that when you're going to be able to resist your competition when they throw in surges in the race. Because again, you've practiced doing that. You've practiced running at faster paces in your long runs. You've practiced running at paces that are down toward 3K to 5K race pace in training, so that 10K race pace is, again, it's going to feel aggressive, you're still going to be challenged in the race no matter how fit you are. But again, you're going to be able to handle it better because you've spent adequate time training at significantly faster paces. For an athlete trying to break 35 minutes for 10 kilometers, I think that getting your tempo run out to between 4 to 8 miles in length, I think is optimal, because again, if you can extend your tempo run out a little bit further than your goal race distance, that is also going to help you not only improve your body's lactate tolerance, your easy pace is going to speed up, because again, you're continually stressing the body, you're continually doing your speed workouts, you're doing your tempo runs that are at goal race pace, slightly slower than race pace, or significantly faster than goal race pace. Okay, if you're doing like for an athlete, for a few examples of the types of workouts I was doing training for the 10K is like doing repeat 800s. Get to a point where you may start off doing 3 to 4 800s in your 16 to 20 week buildup at like 254, giving yourself like 3 minutes of recovery. But you want to work your way to where you can get to do 8 to 10 800s at around 228 to 232 per 800, but only giving yourself 2 minutes of recovery or 90 seconds of recovery. Okay, doing 5 to 6 1 mile repetitions on the track. Start off at threshold. Start off running each one of those reps at 5:51 with a 3 minute recovery as you get fitter. Okay, and as the weeks go by, you want to work to where you're running those repeat miles to a point that you're running faster than goal race pace. Okay, again, it's 5:38 is the goal race pace. Work your way to where you can do those repeat miles at like 5:16 to 5:23 per mile on the track, but giving yourself 2 minutes of recovery. So again, the key tactic here is always to be more conservative in the early stages of your buildup with more rest. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself between 3 weeks to 28 days for your body to adapt to any specific particular intensity that you're throwing at yourself on the track or on the roads. Okay. I also like doing repeat thousands on the roads. Okay. If you're training for a 10K, that might mean starting off at like 3 to 4 1 kilometer reps at threshold on the road. So you're running 338 per K with a 2 to 3 minute jog recovery in between each one. Then back into 338 for the next rep and continue to do 3 to 4 reps of those, but work your way to a point where you're doing 10 1K reps on the roads in around 308 to 312 per K. And then again, you're going to notice too that your recovery floats in between each one of those harder K reps are going to be much faster than they were in the early stages of your buildup when you were only able to handle 3 to 4 K reps and you were running much slower, but your floats were much slower as well. So it's also, it's a beautiful thing when you're patient with yourself in preparing for this sub 35 minute 10K barrier. It's a beautiful thing how the body adapts and how your easy paces are significantly faster because you've stayed consistent with your training over many months. You've done your weekly track workout, you've done your weekly tempo run or anaerobic threshold run, which is about 10 seconds faster than tempo pace. You've done your long runs, you've stayed consistent with your long runs, and you don't have to do long runs at the end of each week. You can do them like I do long runs throughout the week. Sometimes I'll do them on a Tuesday, sometimes I'll do them on a Sunday, sometimes I'll do them on a Friday. Mix it up. Keep your training interesting and don't just stay on the same routine every single week. You don't have to, but you do want to make sure that you are spending about 15 to 20% of your weekly mileage at anaerobic threshold or faster. Okay, the faster you're wanting to run, if you're trying to break 33 minutes or 32 minutes or 31 or even breaking 30 minutes, there's much more that's required out of the athlete. Okay, you're going to have to train at much faster paces, maybe doing a double threshold workout once per month or doing 2 VO2 max workouts throughout the week once or twice per month. But first, build that aerobic base. Okay, you have to get extremely strong aerobically. Practice continuing to do strides, 50 meter to 100 meter strides, 2 to 3 times a week throughout your buildup, even during your aerobic base building phase, all the way up to the taper phase. If you want to break 35 minutes too, and you've done the proper training and you've done some of these types of efforts in terms of preparation, these types of workouts, do a 10-day taper. don't start dropping volume intensity 3 weeks out. Try to do a 10-day taper and see if changing your taper tactic from a 3-week taper to a 10-day taper, I guarantee that you're going to feel much more energized and stronger in your goal 10K race if you do that, because you don't start dropping your volume and intensity too far out. You don't want to feel flat going into your goal 10K race. So I hope this video was helpful for all of you that are maybe have the sub 35 minute 10 kilometer barrier as a goal of yours. Definitely let me know in the comment section below, what is your current personal best for the 10K? Is the sub 35 minute barrier a goal of yours? Definitely work to find a 10K that's super flat, that's very competitive, so that again, it's going to be conducive for you to have the highest percentage, highest chance of succeeding and running that 34:59 time you're aiming for. So thank you so much for watching all of my videos. Check out the resources below as well as on RunDreamAchieve.com. They're there to help you get to the next level in your training and overall fitness and surpass your racing goals. Thank you so much to my subscribers, whether new or you've been a subscriber for many years or many months. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.